Math 122. Let's look at a quick recap of week number 2 before we head on to week number 3. I want to look at what was good, what can improve, so we get that information, hopefully improve ourselves as we head to the next week. Discussion board. Hopefully by now you know the routine. On Blackboard, you click Problems of the Week. You click Group Discussion Board. You get a question. Here is week 2's version. I'm looking for your posts and your cooperation as a group to say, here's our final answers. Look at this student's contribution. I think the math is fantastic. I really like how the student wrote it by hand, scanned it so that we could see it. I think this is great. I think the only critique I would say is throw some words in there. Math, if you're just looking at equations, can sort of be confusing or just, what's going on. Words really help outline the process. Here's another student's. I think we could have roughly the same critique here. The math, I'm just seeing some numbers, very few descriptions. It's telling me cross multiply, that's good. More description is better. More description is better in general. And yeah, I think it's fairly fair to note, I'm not picking on anybody here. I'm just taking out student example work. Everybody will have a chance to say this is good, this is bad. Not picking on anybody by singling out work. Look at that also. I just want to make sure we all understand. That's the due date. October 18th was Tuesday, which is when this is due. We should be posting before Tuesday. Get your first post in this weekend. I'm going to be looking. Let's see some posts this weekend. Another student's version. Okay, what am I thinking? First thing I look at that, I say, how can 55 equal 35.8? So the math is a little imprecise. And also, if you're talking about paper, you can't have 0.5 sheets of paper. That doesn't really make sense. But that said, well, I'm going the wrong way. This, I like this. When I'm talking about description, you're telling me what you did. I tried this, and here I go. If the answer is wrong, that's not the end of the world. It's the description. Description, description, description. I'll keep leaning on that. Two other things. Guess what? It's not all about the answer. Sometimes you can ask a question. Hey, how'd you get that? Might want to make sure you tell what student you're working with. Hey, Susie, what did you do, or something like that. And the other thing is, hey, how'd you get number 2? These are absolutely fine. Collaboration, questions. It's not all about the answer. Group work, I think it's key. Let's check out the homework now. On the homework for week number 2, we had these grids. I said, find an equation. One student looked at this and said, okay, yeah, 9 to the 3x. You can see an answer up there with a 3. And I think the student looked at it and said, yeah, I'm going by 3. You are going by 3, but careful. You're dividing by 3. So that means your answer should be a fraction. I like the student's answer. I think it's great. Put a fraction in there. Instead of 3, maybe 1/3. Another student work. This student, it's a little blurry, but I can still make it out. And look at, they're doing the multiply and the divide, which is what we're talking about. And they even put it in here. One is a 5, one is a divide, means fractions 1/3. I think it's all great. The only thing where I could tweak, that x should be an exponent, not just right next to it. Remember, we're doing exponents. Exponents, you put the little x up top, up top. What else am I like? Whoa, 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 lots of numbers. And it's good. Don't let me critique this. I really like the numbers the student gave me, but just kind of throwing a lot of stuff at the wall here. Also those different equations. Which one do I pick? If I'm grading this, I need to know which one I'm picking. So my hat's off to the math. You're picking the right numbers. You're getting in the right place. But single out, say, this is my final answer. Don't make me search and try and make something out of all those numbers. Here's another example. I think this is great math. I see a lot of good stuff going on. The students doing a cube root. Different ways to do it. So if you didn't do a cube root, don't feel like, oh, I'm missing out. But if you think that's the answer, I think it needs to be simplified just a little more so I can really clearly see it. What else? A lot of good math here. But this student's taking the scenic route. Hey, I'm an advocate for the scenic route of life. But when you're doing these things, you're doing this extra calculation to get the A value. If you check the video, the original video in week 2, I said the A value is just find the 0, and whatever it goes with that is the A value. So I didn't even have to do calculation. I said the A value is 4, the A value is 3. Sometimes that simple route is the best way to go about it. Very common mistake. I saw this in a few students. Saw those 2 points and they said, okay, look at you, jump by 8. So that's my answer. 3 to 24, you times by 8. You know your times table, time by 8. That's good, but let's think about this. We got an equation, but it's 0 and it's 3 is the first point. But then look at, we got to go up the road to get to the next point, the 24. You see what I'm saying? They're not consecutive. You got to fill in those blanks. So instead of multiplying, well, first of all, I think this video, there we go. Okay, you got the A value. Remember, A value goes to 0. But then here's what happens next. The 3 and the 24 are not consecutive. You have to jump, jump, jump. How come you jump those extra spaces? Because the x's are not consecutive. Once we make those jumps, then we can say, well, Why are there 3 blanks? Because there was 3 jumps. And that's like a complex times table. But rack your brain. It's not no decimals. You should be able to kind of do some basic times table, and you should be able to come up with the answer for that question in the homework. Yeah, I'm not going to give it to you right away. Think about that. And let's see. Oh, random box there. A couple other things. This student's work, it's good math. A little hard to see. So just keep that in mind when you're using your scanning. Make sure I can see the math clearly. And I think the very last critique I'm going to have is these two. Great math for number 4. Whoa! Sorry about that. 2 answers. Make sure that I can get a label. What does it mean? This is a word problem. Tell me what those numbers mean. Is that people, money, time, who knows what? Give me a label. And the very last thing, I'm going to make another plug for these online tutoring this Saturday, 12 to 2, and here's the information for using the Zoom meeting. So hope all this information helps. You can email me, make a phone call, however you need to if you have specific questions for me. But hopefully week number 3 we'll get rolling and make the work keep improving.